People, in the Connecticut election fraud case, the Zuckerberg bribes to Bridgeport were cashed by Patricia Howard, and Judge Clark is covering it up, and we're about to nail him, but we have other judges after us which are even more problematic. But I want to show you something on my document reader right here. This is bigger than the election fraud case. Background: Flynn lawsuit, Connecticut, Stamford Superior Court transferred to the federal court, including pro se plaintiff brought a class action claim against numerous defendants, including communication company Verizon Wireless, which has a motion to right here, memorandum of law for Verizon Wireless. AT&T, they worked with FirstNet to hack the country. Charter Communications paid the bribes. Cox, all these people. And United States Senator Richard Blumenthal, alleging the defendants knowingly radiated every person in the state of Connecticut by colluding to install the 5th generation technology standard for broadband cellular. What this doesn't say is that the standard is from 1996. It's antiquated. It's for 2G, not 5G, and 5G is 1,000 times stronger than 4G. What I'm saying is the radiation level they subjected you to is many times higher than you can withstand on a long-term basis. Okay? That's not all I allege. And these guys did not do as good a job as the judge did telling you what I alleged. Okay? But if you go through, the government did this, they did that. Okay. The plaintiff's complaint, okay, is number 247, is the updated writ. Okay? Now, motion 247. What does it maintain? Senator Murphy committed treason multiple times. Okay, read the case. Department of Homeland Security under Senator Murphy made the DMV print 700,000 illegal alien driver's licenses. Correct. Making the allegation RF radiation. Okay, the Norwalk Home Depot is 1,800, which is true. The state limit is 1,000. The limit in Poland, Russia, and Italy is 10. 11 causes autism, 12 causes cancer, 13 causes infertility, and the Trumbull Mall is at 2,000. That is correct. But that's not the worst of it. The U.S. Senator Chris Murphy is Department of Homeland Security Senate Subcommittee Chair using the fusion centers to investigate U.S. citizens illegally. Correct. Correct. Our latest plaintiff, Corey Coopersmith, had $300 million stolen by the state, Judge Manning in particular, in a bankruptcy when he is poisoned. Now his first attorney died in a plane crash mysteriously. His second attorney, I think he had prostate cancer, but the judge in the case asked for a forensic audit 7 times in 2017. Well, don't you know there's $300 million missing? Just like Sandy Hook. 60 inconsistencies. I'm not saying that those actors aren't harmed. I'm not saying anything about it, okay? I do know that the porta potties showed up, I think it was 16 porta potties the day before the shooting. And I do know that David Hogg played the actor. And I do know a lot of different things, folks, and I do have pictures of every single child in that school since the shooting. which makes no sense whatsoever, but I do know that Murphy took a $200 million bribe. B-R-I-B-E. So I may hand signal some of you about the bull shit that you're going to hear if you follow the case, but no newspaper is interested in the election fraud case, even though Patricia took the Zuckerberg bribes and 37 towns in Connecticut took the 1.455 million. Bridgeport took 313,000. Hartford took 346,000. Norwalk took 51,000. Go down the list, okay? They all got subpoenaed. None of them complied. They all got federal subpoenas. Bridgeport got 3. Judge Clark knows. He read my brief in this case. Let's put it on screen, huh? Just giving you an update about how screwed these people are. That's me. I'm a plaintiff. That's John Gomes, also screwed. Charles Clemens, he screwed us. Patricia Howard took the bribes. Stephanie Thomas knows all about it. Stephanie Thomas destroyed the cast vote record on the 2022 election and the memory cards, and she knows that all the softwares used were completely hackable. It is a slam dunk. Danbury, Connecticut, hacked Pennsylvania. Shelton, Connecticut, hacked Wisconsin. Southington, Connecticut, hacked Michigan. Colchester, Connecticut, hacked Oklahoma. Who hacked Pima and Maricopa County? It looks like Gartner Group. It looks like there is an incredible web of deception going on. And we're going to prove it all. And we're going to take the Blumenthal seat. And we're going to take the Murphy seat. And the other plaintiff, another plaintiff in this case, is Menendez, who just got nailed for bribery on his second time. Now, Blumenthal is asking for Menendez's resignation, and Murphy isn't. Let's explain what Murphy's up to. Murphy is Department of Homeland Security Subcommittee Chair of Open Borders for this, letting in all the fentanyl, all the illegal aliens, so he can sign them up through his DMV illegally without certifying, verifying that they're citizens at all. It violates the federal constitution and the state constitution. Connecticut is a non-verification state. I gave 57,962 signatures to Ted Bromley, who destroyed them and gave them to Hearst. I sued Hearst for defamation when they wrote an article saying that I solicited dead people. I did not. I bought a list of email addresses. I sent 1.5 million emails out. People who responded gave me their name. I did not purchase their name. I did not purchase their occupation. I did not purchase their address. I only purchased their email address. The data that I collected, which I gave to the Secretary of State, there are laws they broke. Specifically, Executive Order of Lamont 7WW. What happened? We have videotape of everyone threatening us. Everyone threatening us. Taffy Womack accepting the 57,962 signatures. Ada Carini threatening me with false arrest. And I was falsely arrested by the state police. Who signed the warrant? Truglia. Truglia is the son of the Democratic Senate Majority Leader. Okay? They said White signed the warrant. White's in this case too, as a defendant. We're adding other defendants, including the Chief Court Administrator. Hello, Bizzuto. Talk to your office 50 times Haven't gotten the written response. When I get it, I'll drop you from the suit. I promise. You have my word. Hey, what do you say? Scouts honor? Scouts honor? That's not right. That's, Scouts honor? No, that's live long and prosper. I can't think of what Scouts honor is. Oh, that's it. That is the Boy Scout. I was a Boy Scout. Too hilarious. So anyway, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you need to read a couple of documents. Basically, if you read I can take you to the PACER system, and you can read everything. Law argument. What I'm saying is this Attorney General acted in the scope of his employment when the claim arose. They're saying they have sovereign immunity for hacking 20 other states. I think that when they went to Barcelona, Spain, they used a German server. They used Seidel. Seidel is a criminal enterprise. No Inc., criminal enterprise. ESS, criminal enterprise. LHS, criminal enterprise. Read the Diebold Dominion contracts. They're all in the case. They're all in the appellate court case. What I'm claiming is treason. Okay? Now, I was a biotechnology analyst. I owned a biotechnology research boutique called Greenwich Global LP, which Jim Himes stole. Well, he's in charge of the stealing of it. 10 attorneys from Bank America cashed my stolen checks, claimed to be my attorney. They stole my identity, which is what this case is about. They stole Corey Cooper Smith's identity and $300 million. They only stole $50 million from me. But look, emphasis added. 28 U.S.C. 26792. Emphasis added. The U.S. Attorney's Office made such a certification. They certified a falsified election with hackable software after destroying the cast vote record needed for the audit. The audit is falsified. UConn did the audit. Okay? It's really simple to prove that the audit is falsified since the software is hackable and we have the IP addresses of every hacker, every target and source IP address, and it connects to Tyler Technologies, which changed the vote of every town in the state of Connecticut, and I can prove that, folks. There is proof of that, okay? The proof is overwhelming. Scott Bates needs to go to jail for perjury, and so does Gabby Rosenberg. What else? Well, there's a lot of other stuff, because 3 of the plaintiffs in this case are threatened at gunpoint. We filed 7 protection orders, which are denied. The Ahujas are involved. Those are the people paying the bribes to the judges. And they are very bold, bragging about it. There is evidence that implicates the Darien Police Department, the Norwalk Police Department, the Stamford Police Department, the Bridgeport Police Department. Hey, when I was robbed, I went to the Bridgeport Police Department. I filled out a police report. I accused the town clerk of committing 600 felonies, which she did. And they refused to put her name on the police report. That is obstruction. That is RICO. That is racketeering. Okay? What happened in the other towns? Oh, Easton's a doozy. East Haven is a doozy. There are many towns in Connecticut that are not added to this lawsuit, but New York was added. New Jersey was added. And I had to remove them temporarily. They will be going back in. The autism part of 5G is being covered by the New Jersey section of this document. Okay? The human trafficking aspect of 5G is being covered in the state of New York case with Chuck Schumer and Gillibrand. And, you know about Menendez. Well, the case implicates Pura and the Siting Council. Okay? Those are the entities that put the towers wherever the hell they want. They surrounded Sacred Heart University. They put one across the street from St. Aloysius in New Canaan. They put one anywhere they want. Now, the Home Depot registered at 1800 prior to the new 5G tower. They did that with the old 4G tower, and now we're moving into 6G. There's a case right now pending in another town, I think it's exit 19, which I can't really talk about yet. But for me to claim that Seymour has Wi-Fi that is, I don't know, 20 million times the legal limit, that's shocking. But Hamden is 60 million times the legal limit, according to other people. So if we're wrong, 60 million versus 10, these people are so happy to take these bribes. They're not there is no safety. It is quite dangerous to sleep near a router through an infant cannot sleep anywhere near a smart meter, and there is no warning. The smart meter is the equivalent to 169 cell phones. One smart meter has the equivalent radiation of 169 cell phones. So when we went to the UI presentation in Southport, they said, oh, there's no environmental impact. Bullshit. Frogs stop reproducing and bees die from Wi-Fi when it's set above a reasonable limit. Keep in mind this. 10 RF radiation in Italy is not allowed in a kindergarten because they want their children to be fertile. I've tested kindergartens over 2,000 RF per meter squared. Let me tell you something. The vaccine, in certain cases, has graphene oxide activated by 5G. It's an antenna, and it's a magnet. And when two people sit next to each other in a car with a Verizon phone, it's 39 gigahertz each. Okay? Two phones, 39 gigahertz each. Oh, by the way, this is the meter that I take the readings with. It's called Telmar's. It's only $186. I would buy one if I were you. I've got some pretty high readings myself. Even in the courtroom, it's over 1,000. Inside the courtrooms of Stamford, Connecticut, it is over 1,000, which is the legal limit. Every courtroom that I've been in where they let the meter in, which is not often. Not allowed phones in the court. This week I got physically thrown out of Bridgeport. I've been thrown out of many different towns. I was physically manhandled in Tolland, and let me tell you, I filed an appearance for Ken Collins, who is a disabled person robbed, just like Corey Coopersmith. Hey Ken, join the suit, bro. You have an excellent claim. I'll send him this video. His attorney robbed him, and his attorney's been forging Judge Dallas Gordon's signature. Did you hear what I just said? Judge Dallas Gordon has allowed it, though he moved the case from civil court to criminal court. The DA there threw me out of that building, too. Been thrown out of a lot of DA's offices. I've been thrown out of the Stanford DA's office over 30 times. And right now I'm being threatened by the Bridgeport DA. So if we don't get some support online through Twitter or whatever, there's only a limit of what I can take, having no support. And we're paying for everything ourselves, which is a crying shame. But if I could get you to follow this case from here on in, the 5G Connecticut case, this is pretty well done. But the 12-page document from Judge Meyer, who has a conflict of interest, every single federal judge in Connecticut has a signed confidentiality agreement with Richard Blumenthal. Richard Blumenthal is the defendant here. So Meyer hasn't disclosed it. I'll give him one more month. I'm sure he's watching these videos because I've read his stuff. And by the way, 3 of the plaintiffs in this case have been threatened at gunpoint. Chris Kelly was told that if he didn't change his testimony, he'd be shot in the back of the head, just like Heather Lindsay's stepson, who was also threatened at gunpoint. She filed a police report in Stanford, and the DA blocked the arrest of Michael Ahuja. Michael Ahuja got caught with $18 million in the trunk of his car, bribing cops from Connecticut to Texas with Oxy money. A.J. Ahuja, his brother, raped Heather Lindsay, drugged her, and foreclosed on her $3.5 million property, and Stanford bribed her. And the judges heard the case, and they sealed it, and they committed huge crimes. What I'm saying is there are like 28 judges in Stanford that have criminal charges filed against them, and no one can arrest them. Connecticut in 2000 took away sheriffs, took away county oversight, and they had the function of oversight over judges. There is no oversight of judges. The judges own the mortgage mills in Connecticut. It's legal. The state legislature took bribes to do it. One of the judges, Spader, is actually a police commissioner and a judge hearing his own cases, and it's worse than that. He's the lobbyist paying the senators. So we got a problem here. The problem is clear. I'll show you what the problem is. Vanessa Roberts Avery, United States Attorney, is defending the people who are radiating your kids, making them autistic. The U.S. Attorney Assistant U.S. Attorney at 450 Main Street, Hartford, Connecticut, should be defending your kids' neuro rights, protecting the thought police run by Chris Murphy of remote neural monitoring. Plaintiff 2 in this case, his name is Phil Marie. He has chips from Yale, and this judge denied him the right to remove biometric chips in his neck and in his abdomen. This is a problem, folks, because Phil is tortured daily by Wi-Fi. Shocked. Torture is part of this case. There are 21 counts. Unfortunately, everyone involved had an opportunity to get out, and they didn't. They've never answered the writ. And the judge says, well, they got 30 days if they want to answer the writ. Well, we're on the 23rd version of the document, and we have many more changes to come. Many more changes to come. We have many more defendants to add. We have 100 plaintiffs now. They haven't filed and they haven't signed because we are getting threatened at gunpoint. And Vanessa Roberts Avery, who's on this document, here, let me show you. She should be concerned that plaintiffs are being threatened at gunpoint, and other people who are also in this case already as plaintiffs. One guy got arrested falsely 11 times, and the judge swindled the bond. Swindled the bond. Swindled the bond. Another guy has a patent they want for carbon credits. I have a patent they want. Corey Coopersmith, who I just described as getting robbed of $300 million, has patents that they want. So, Connecticut is targeting patent owners, threatening them at gunpoint. Now, Corey wasn't threatened at gunpoint, but he was poisoned, and his attorney is threatened at gunpoint. There is an email. I have it. It's quite startling. Other people in the case are claiming their attorneys were compromised. This is what part of this case is. The fusion centers are above the law. Just like Bridgeport. They're upset that there was a leak of videos in the Gomes trial. They're more upset about the leak than they are upset that the election was thrown. Think of this. Bridgeport took a $313,000 bribe from Mark Zuckerberg, who cut a deal with the feds. Okay, so he's out. I didn't add Mark Zuckerberg. Why should I? He didn't falsify the election. These guys did. What's interesting is that I was an opponent running for U.S. Senate against Richard Blumenthal, and the mayor of Bridgeport stole 600 of my petitioning candidate signatures, and yesterday at the courthouse he wouldn't answer my questions. The judge wouldn't let me speak as a plaintiff in this lawsuit. Another lawsuit. Let's put it on screen. In the Gomes case against Bridgeport Police Department and Joe Ganim. Yes, Stephanie Thomas is the Secretary of State. What should I tell you? 37 towns in Connecticut took bribes to stuff mailboxes. In the videos that Ganim had to review under cross-examination, which I was denied any questions, I was not allowed to ask him any questions about the Zuckerberg bribes. Keep in mind this. I gave 3 federal subpoenas to Bridgeport for that information, which has to be public. Not only that, I subpoenaed Clark in the Stamford Superior Court to view the ex parte communications between Lowy, Randolph, Gennario, Kremrich, Kavanewski. Kavanewski denied the protective order to Heather Lindsay, Chris Kelly, and Johnny Flynn. So, tell me why I got dismissed from the Gomes case without saying a word. Because Judge Clark works with Judge Kavanewski, and it appears that people have been bought. And we have testimony. There are affidavits, folks. I have approximately 10. So did 10 people lie? Oh, more than 10 people have lied. Have a great day. Thanks. This is an update. I want to explain a little about what's going on. I did file a motion today in Bridgeport to re-argue my denial of my motion to intervene, which is incredible. It's 100 pages. You should read it. It talks about the election fraud and who controls the election. LHS counts the votes. LHS is a foreign entity with Chinese ownership. You can't make this stuff up. So why do it? I don't have to remember the truth. I am not losing my First Amendment right. But whatever I say, I have to have reason to believe it's true. And I have reason to believe that what I say is true. Have a great day. I do need you to support me online, because if I don't have the public trust and the public information, I don't want to be the next Julian Assange. Got it? I want to be the next U.S. Senator, because I know what's going on in crypto. I know what Jim Himes is completely up to. Jim Himes works for Bank of America. Bank of America, through Shawmut Bank, which they purchased, financed slavery in America. I can go down this long rabbit hole. But what I will tell you right now is something remarkable happened this week, or in the last 2 weeks. The testimony in the Gomes case proves that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because they stuffed those ballots on video. They drove up to that ballot box in a Bridgeport van, a city property van. Bye-bye, boys. Have fun in Leavenworth, because that's where you're going. The best part of the case, save it for later, right? Since the election's falsified, they have no immunity. I love it when a plan comes together. Let's have a huge party when we win. And we are going to win. And no one's going to get that Blumenthal or Murphy seat without taking it. Because the Democrats are not going to give it up to you free. And None of these people are trustworthy. None. Blumenthal wrote the Iran deal. The Iran deal. Blumenthal wrote the Green New Deal. You think the Democrats know that? Blumenthal wrote the late-term abortion bill where he can pull the baby's arms off and the jaw and then pull the baby out. And if the baby survives, they don't have to resuscitate it, do anything. This is not cool. So while Hamas is in Connecticut already, according to the Connecticut State Police, James Ravella resigned, who was handling the investigation into the Murphy-Blumenthal elections with all that stuff. Now, the fraud relates to the certification. And when you look at the answers of the U.S. Attorney, here, look. Conclusion. For foregoing reasons, Senator Murphy respectfully urges the court in his motion to substitute and to enter an order directing the clerk to amend the caption in the case to reflect substitution of the United States as the defendant in his place. Wow. If the judge does that, which he already did for Blumenthal, I'd say we have another Brunson case, 22-380, on our hands. And I hear they went after Justice Clarence Thomas because he sealed parts of that case, and they are rounding those dudes up. So Blumenthal and Murphy may not be able to appear in the court case since Himes, Hayes, DeLauro, Courtney, and Larson are also in the Brunson 380 case. Thank you, Mr. Brunson. I got your back, bro. Here come Cowboys. Enjoy. I appreciate everyone listening. Gonna leave now.